Hi everyone. I had a different outfit on, but I get a little hot in here, so I took the extra shirt off. I guess I forgot it was still summer in Texas. But anyway, I just wanted to pop in and talk about something controversial real quick. I know talking about something controversial and real quick should not go in the same sentence, but fuck it, let's go for it, right? If you know me, hi, I'm a potty mouth. My name is Jennifer, and I run the page WhichWitchLife on Instagram. Yeah, that's me. So, let's talk about how it is okay to not be all love and light. Wow. But it's so hard to say. Join me on this, okay? Just come in. This is for the people who don't know me. And it's even for the followers that I already have-ish. Because they may not see all of my posts because of YouTube or Instagram algorithms and all of that jazz. I guess I'm speaking YouTube into life because I just made the YouTube. And if you're watching this later in the future, I probably haven't just made it, but whatever. Just made the YouTube and we just got it going. So we're trying to get it on and popping. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about how it is okay to not be all love and light, okay? Because you're not going to be love and light all the time, okay? It's okay. Say it with me. Nod your head. Yes, come on. Say it with me. You can say it. It's okay. All right, so let's discuss about how it's okay to not be love and light all the time. People who tend to, not to attack anyone, but this is just my research and my observation on a lot of spiritualists that are out there in the limelight or in the public face. So it just kind of comes to territory because people scrutinize me all the time, and I pretty much don't care as long as I'm reaching the people who need to be reached and they got the message across. So, people who tend to stay in the love and light only field are people who are tending to not face darkness, okay? Now, before I go any further, let me put this disclaimer out, okay? So, those people are not all bad. I'm not saying they're evil. I'm not saying it's terrible to be a love and light all the time or majority of the time. It's not a bad thing. You need those people because they kind of keep the light going. But it's stronger for you and yourself in your own personal journey, because some people are put out there just to preach or to speak love and light and to shine their love and light, and that's fine because that's their purpose, okay? And you accept that for who they are. This is why I said I'm not attacking anyone, because some people are put there just to speak love and light because that is solely their department and what they are commissioned to do as a light worker, and that is fine. Okay, but this is for the people who are fighting with the wrestling with the idea of love and light. And this is also for the people who fight the idea of being love and light and a shadow person in the same time. Like, oh no, darkness isn't real. The devil and the demons aren't real. That's not a real thing. This is something for them. Okay? For people who refuse to acknowledge that the darkness exists. This is where you're greatly mistaken. Okay? Here's an example. You ever seen Constantine? We know Keanu Reeves, and I should remember her name because she played Evelyn on The Mummy, and Rachel Weisz. There we go. You ever seen that Constantine, the movie where he's like trying to get her to believe? She leaves his apartment and he catches her outside because he saw the demons coming, right? And she was like, I don't believe in the devil. And he was like, it's a shame because he believes in you. And that's exactly the same concept. Okay, so there is a negative entity, and there are negative entities and negative energies, okay? And those do exist. And that's on the grander scheme, okay? We're not even discussing that right now. We're discussing that there is a dark side to everyone, okay? And it's okay. It's up to you on which side that you decide to dwell in the most. But with all, my suggestion is always a healthy balance, okay? So let's get into it. If that wasn't good enough right there, it is okay to not be loving light all the time, because you as a person has a shadow self. Okay, what happens when you're love and light all the time and have not, and refuse to address the dark issue that you suppress and repress because you don't want to deal with that, or it's too scary to deal with? Okay, you're making your other side, your shadow side, a lot greater. Okay, and what happens is you lose control of it. Okay, so I speak about shadow work a lot because it's necessary, especially as a person who is a light worker. You have to have an understanding and a sense of control with that go hand in hand with dealing with your shadow self and your light self, which is also known as your higher self. Okay, and you meet in the middle. Okay, this is represented in different other religions and practices, but I'm not going to go too deep because this is a quick video real quick. I'm probably just going to put it on Instagram. I might put it on YouTube, we'll see. But it's a balance, okay? Have you ever seen those memes or posts? It's like from the darkness, I can heal myself, because I've been there, I've dealt with it, I've fought those shadows, fought those demons, my personal demons or real ones, whichever one come to you. I've dealt with that anger that I've repressed, or that sadness, or that hurt, or that loss. Watch my video on shadow work. Made a video about shadow work. I might go ahead and post it to YouTube here as well. So being able to understand that, okay, and deal with that. So going back to the movie Constantine, I love the movie, and it's easier for me to use as a reference for y'all to follow me here. The fact that her, and like most Catholics or religious people, I should say, they don't know, or the love and light people, let's go with that. Because you don't know, or refuse to acknowledge that it exists, you don't know what you're up against. Okay? She's like, why do I smell sulfur? Why is this happening? Why are all the lights coming on? I don't know what's going on. And then Constantine is like, oh, because bitch, there's fucking demons out here trying to get your motherfucking ass because you worth something to them. You would know that if you read up on the other side. Like, if you acknowledged that it existed and was prepared, okay? Not saying to go out there and attacking motherfuckers. Excuse my language. Not saying to go out there and attacking and go looking for it. It's just like, if it happens to come, I am prepared, okay? It's the same thing with going down to your shadow work. If a moment happens to come where I am triggered, I am prepared. The issue with shadow work, the thing with shadow work is not to eliminate those triggers. You will not be able to eliminate all of them. You will have a failed journey if that is what you're going after. Yes, some of them you'll be able to neutralize. There we go. I don't like to say eliminate, but neutralize. Some of them you will be able to neutralize, but others will always be there. Like for me, a huge trigger is disrespect. Now, the reason behind that being a trigger is something that works with shadow work, but the fact that disrespect will always be a trigger, because that should be a trigger for anyone. You should not let anyone disrespect you or your boundaries. Okay, so it's just how you deal and handle with it, and how you choose to react to it. Okay, that is what makes a difference in the shadow work, and knowing that you're growing and making those strides that you're trying to make. Okay, that you have grown and that you've dealt with the darkness, that you're healing that pain. Those are the signs that you're looking for. Okay, so sometimes in that, using back to the analogy of disrespect, your way of handling it, where maybe before you just kind of cower down, or you just shut down, or you're just like, oh, I'm just going to walk away, when in fact you should have stood your ground and been like, hey, no, that's not okay, and I'm not going to tolerate that. Okay, or vice versa, where usually you pop the fuck off, somebody disrespect you, and maybe for you it's time to like rein it in a little bit. You know, maybe instead of just reacting like whoop whoop, hot foot reacting, and just be like, let me refine my reaction real quick and saying, hey, no, that's not okay. But I don't have to verbally or physically attack you to get that point across. You know, it's just different ways of growth. Okay, there's different ways that it's going to show itself. Okay, that you're growing, whatever is unique to you. So with that, some people might think the way you respond or react to some things, like, oh, that's a little dark side, or you're angry, or you're frustrated, or you just told someone no when they needed you for help. My boundary states that I need X amount of time before I can perform this, or before I can do this, or to process this, or process that. So you will have to say no sometimes, and sometimes you might have to catch an attitude or few. Okay, that's just an easy explanation to bring to everybody, because every now and then people get frustrated, they get tired. You're allowed to. You're fucking human. Okay, it's gonna happen. Sometimes I'll be wanting to snap at my clients, and I'm like, oh Lord. Okay, ancestors, I need y'all to help me figure this one out, because God, because God is my patron deity, because that's a whole nother story, another video for another time. But the fact of the matter is, you will be tested and tried, okay? And it's okay to tap into that dark energy every now and then, okay? Because it's there, and it's there for a reason. You have it for a reason. You just gotta use it wisely, okay? It's okay to not be love and light all the time. And I know some people may say, well, love and light may just mean reacting or responding or a different way. But I'm saying this because a lot of times when people refer to love and light, their reaction or response is to walk away or ignore it and not deal with it. That is not okay. Because what happens, your shadow side grows, and it grows bigger and stronger until it's something that you can't contain or control or work with, okay? Again, the idea is not control, it's compromise, it's alliance, it's working together, okay? It's an agreement, because that's a piece of you, all right? Just like your higher self and your light self is also a piece of you, okay? So let's keep this all in mind. Now, going back really quickly to where I said those love and light people are necessary, okay? And my issue was the people who are preaching love and light but have never known or been shown to or experienced their darkness. Not just other people's darkness, but your own, okay? Because some people, like myself, which that's all that story, me back off of that, but like some people like myself, whereas I've experienced the darkness, I've seen it, I've been there, done that, and my decision is to dwell more on the light side, of working more in the light and doing the things of that, which is spreading peace and love and lifting up people and just being that support of comfort and help, okay? Which I said earlier, I'm moving towards more back towards a middle ground of having a balance, because my calling now to spread the word or enlighten people is a little more on the rough side. So it's kind of like having a balance of still saying, no, you can reach enlightenment and love and light, but you also got to deal with the darker things. And sometimes that means I have to be a little rough with you and tell you some things that you might not feel the delivery is kind, but it's how it seeps into you and how it permeates, okay? So, and there are some people who decide to dwell on the dark side. If you come from a Christianity and that's not Catholics or Catholicism, you might have heard this term before. It's called like a fire and brimstone preacher. That's that preacher that's always up there like, you're going to hell if you don't do this right. This is going to happen to the unrighteous, and this and that. You have those preachers, and then you have the preachers that's like, God loves you, and he wants you to love yourself and others, and he wants you to love him too. Like, you have those, it's like love and light, the darkness. So it's finding a balance in between being love and light and having an acknowledgement and dealing with and dwelling within that darkness and having that balance, okay? So some people are more on the dark side of saying, no, if you don't get these things together in order, you're not going to succeed. And sometimes you need to hear that. It's just not all the time. And like all the time you don't need to hear, everything's going to be fine. God is love and the universe is love and all that stuff. Like, no, tell me what I need to fix. Like, tell me what I need to hear. Like, hit me in the gut so I can wake up and have a gut reaction. Like, whoa, fuck, I've been messing up. So thank you so much for watching. That is my time here on Instagram. Feel free to put a comment down below if you liked it. I'll be watching. Y'all have a good one.